Hi everybody, I'm Patrick.
And I'm Michael. You're watching another episode of Star Wars News and Views. And today we're going to be talking about the Rogue One teaser trailer, which just came out the other night.
Yeah.
I'm sure you've all seen it, so we're not going to do a reaction video to it because there's no point. You've all had your reaction, we had our reaction.
Mm-hmm.
So we're just going to be talking about stuff that you see in the teaser that, like, the shots are really quick.
Yeah.
Right? That's the nature of these things. But there's a lot of details to pick apart.
Yeah. So I'd say, like, first of all, general impression, for me, it looks really good. Like, it's definitely a really cool looking side story that doesn't really seem to focus too much on any of the old main cast or anything, and it's just all, like, sort of encompassing as its own side story about this, like, heist movie, which is really cool. I mean, it's got this sort of generic, rebellious, like, main character, she's got a, I don't know, they're choosing her for that specific reason, yada yada, but it definitely seems like more gritty Star Wars movie than I've seen, of any of the other movies so far.
Yeah, I thought it looked amazing. I had, obviously, high expectations for it.
Yeah.
But it really took me by surprise. The tone was, like, very, very dark and kind of had, like, this bleak sort of hopeless quality to it. You really get the sense that they're going up against the odds. And
yeah, which makes sense because even if, like, the end of the day, which we know what's going to happen, but, like, the best thing that they could ever do is just take the plans, but they don't destroy the Death Star. Like, it's still going to be there for Episode 4, right? So, it's always going to have this sort of, like, bleak ending to it no matter what.
Yeah. I really liked the editing and the pacing and the music, and there's the Death Star horn going. I know William thought that was stupid, but yeah. I thought it worked. It does have that typical modern trailer, bwom, bwom. Ever since Inception, like, so many trailers have done that, but it works. It works.
Yeah, it adds to the dread feeling, like we were talking about.
Yes,
so.
Dread. It definitely has this sense of dread to it.
Yeah. In terms of new characters so far, there's, like, the main protagonist. I don't know. I don't think we got a name for her at all, right?
No, they do say her name in the trailer.
Yeah, so we get, like, the new main character. We get sort of glimpses at some of the other characters who I think we saw in the cast photo, who are going to be, like, part of the heist. We don't really get too much of them. Mm-hmm. We did see Mon Mothma again, who's pretty cool.
Mon Mothma.
And I guess the other...
Who is played by the same woman that played her in Revenge of the Sith.
And if you missed it, it's because it was all deleted scenes.
Yeah, and they're actually pretty good scenes where she's forming the rebellion with Padme, and she looks like just like her.
Yeah.
It's, like, uncanny.
For some of the newer characters, we've got, like, Forrest Whitaker playing this, like, sort of old hermit-looking guy. I'm not really sure too much about him.
He has this, like, armored suit.
Yeah, and, like, a tube going around him and stuff.
Almost looks like it'd be, like, robotic, maybe? I don't know.
Yeah, kind of like a makeshift Darth Vader suit. We're not really sure. Donnie Yen's in it, and he's, like, a badass with this
He's
stuff.
doing this Donnie Yen thing.
Yeah.
Although, the context of that scene, like, he's, like, got, like, 3 stormtroopers pointing guns at him, and he's got, like, a metal stick.
Yeah.
Like, what, they just shoot him?
I know. It seems like the only reason why the melee weapons worked in the Star Wars universe was because Jedi were able to use them, right? And it's like they can, anticipate shots and be able to deflect it. But if you just have a staff, you're going to get shot. Like, I don't know what else to say.
Yeah, one theory I had was maybe that he was some kind of superior Imperial officer, and he's, like, disciplining a stormtrooper. Although I don't think that's the case.
Yeah.
Because he appeared in the cast set photo where they're all assembled in the hangar.
Yeah.
And also he's just dressed in, clothing.
Yeah. I guess in terms of, like, the actors play, everyone except for Forrest Whitaker and Donnie Yen are all, like, pretty much not well-known actors, right? Like, I don't think I've seen any of them,
Well, what's his name?
Really.
Ben Mendelsohn?
Yeah.
Like, he's apparently... I've seen a lot of the films he's in, but I never really paid attention to him. We'll get into his character in a little bit. One of the things you see a lot of is stormtroopers, old designs and new designs.
Yeah, the ones, like, the regular white ones look like the ones from Episode 4, right?
And they've even got that gray patch on the side, so it's, like, authentic. The one thing you may notice, though, is that, like, on the joints, like, especially with their knees, there's more of a spacing, and I think that's to accommodate stunt work. So they're more mobile, because, I mean, the stormtrooper suits were always notoriously difficult to run around in.
We also get to see these sort of like tan tank stormtroopers. I'm not really sure what much to say about them other than we see them in the tank and then later on again running, and it's kind of got this like sort of sand vibe with them and like a kind of not really a visor but like some kind of like metal
kind
piece.
of thing. The tank kind of reminds me of the Batman tumbler.
Yeah. And I guess we see some like black stormtroopers who kind of resemble TIE pilots, but I'm not really sure.
Well, they're like I think they're supposed to be like. You mean the ones with the masks and everything? I think they're supposed to be like some sort of elite squad.
Oh yeah, okay.
And they've got some kind of like backpack on in one of the shots. You see like a strap?
Yeah, and like cannon sort of guns too, not like the rifles that we normally see stormtroopers with.
You see a lot of different designs for stormtroopers, and I think it's interesting. Like, stormtroopers are always very specific to the types of environments they're in and the types of things they're doing. So when they go to Hoth, they have the snow troopers. When they go to the desert, they have the sand troopers. If you're driving a tank, you have a tank trooper.
Yeah, and it's really cool, I guess, at this point to see them because this is supposed to be like the height of the Empire, right? Like this seems to be like their heyday right now, right? With like the Death Star just being complete and all these different like stormtroopers everywhere. So it's cool to see that.
And that shot of the Death Star being like finished, where they're putting the dish on.
Yeah, and the shadow coming over it. Yeah, it looks really cool.
And the Star Destroyers, you can see they have that weird looking bridge at the top, very classic, old school. Like this is right before A New Hope, at the height of their power.
Yeah,
and it's just really cool to see.
And I guess really one thing to kind of end off on here is the antagonists that might appear in this movie that we're not really 100% sure on yet. Mm-hmm. There is that like Grand Admiral person with the white suit.
Yeah, that's this is kind of going off expanded universe.
Yeah,
but that's typically that's considered to be a Grand Admiral uniform. Mm-hmm. Although they add the cape, which I really like. I thought that's really cool.
Yeah. And I guess like it's sort of supposed to be resembling of Thrawn a little bit, not necessarily like it's obviously not blue or anything like that, but I think maybe his character might be influenced by Thrawn's character. He's going to be like a tactical genius, right?
And he's also, it seems like he's not afraid to get his hands dirty because you see the shot of him walking through the water like towards the battle site, right?
Yeah.
He's not like some prissy for example, like General Hux in Force Awakens would never do that.
Yeah, he's like kind of like hiding behind stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
And I guess that's like really the only person who we can see as the main antagonist, but there is that one shot of the cloaked figure walking up to this like
tank or something.
Yeah, like a tube thing, and then like kneeling. Yeah, it kind of looks like the cloak the Emperor would be wearing, but like I don't know who the Emperor would be kneeling to.
Well, unless it's Snoke.
That'd be cool.
Yeah, like, and he's in the tank or something like that because he's tiny or something like that.
Yeah, and I guess like it even plays into the Darth Plagueis sort of like rumor that maybe he was alive the whole time and the Emperor kind of has him like saved in this tube. Yeah. Because those are that's right, they are the Emperor's guards and they're there, and who else would he ever kneel to unless it was his former master, right?
Some people think it's Darth Vader, but like his cloak goes over his head. So I mean they could have a nude variation on Darth Vader's thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's very mysterious. My guess, you heard it here first. It's Snoke. And that would be a good tie-in to The Force Awakens, because they're like, who's, like, Snoke? Like, where was he during the original trilogy?
Yeah.
And this could be like, oh,
that's a cool thing. That actually would work really well, I think.
Yeah.
And I guess really the only other, antagonist that could appear is Darth Vader, which we've heard some rumors about a possibility of him appearing.
Yeah.
It doesn't really seem, at least, well, obviously, because he's probably not in this teaser trailer unless that cloak figure is him, but he's not going to have a major role, but we might just get sort of like a cameo for him.
The rumor is that his presence looms large over it, because like we're going into the Death Star and Darth Vader might be there.
Yeah.
The other thing is that the Grand Admiral, maybe he's supervising the construction of the Death Star, and that's why he's so involved. And then maybe at the end he dies, and then Tarkin takes over.
Oh, okay, that makes sense. Yeah. But Tarkin's he had a different uniform, so I guess it would be a Grand Admiral, right?
He's a Moff.
Yeah.
No, well, I guess a Grand Admiral, he'd be in charge of the Imperial Fleet.
Yeah, okay.
Right? So he wouldn't be, like, sort of more of a bureaucratic role. The other thing, you'll notice that there's this gray, skinny-looking robot that's with them, and you see that one shot of them, I guess they're running through the Death Star, and the troopers are passing them, and he's with them, and if you look at what Felicity Jones is carrying, it looks like some kind of like data pad or something like that, so that could be the Death Star plans.
Yeah.
When they finally get them and they're sounding the alarm and they're trying to escape.
Yeah.
And there's that, of course, that ending shot where she's disguised in the Imperial uniform of some kind. It looks like a TIE fighter pilot, but they have like a hose thing.
Yeah, that's true. But she didn't have the helmet on, right? So maybe she's just taken the helmet off and the hose is attached to it. I don't know.
So I'm guessing that's like her disguise to infiltrate. And they have the slatted lighting.
Yeah.
That kind of is like that part in Empire Strikes Back where Luke is looking for Darth Vader.
Yeah.
It's very, like, it's like a tube-like thing.
Yeah.
So finally, just to wrap this up, the locations we see, it looks pretty confined to only a few locations, which would make sense because the budget for this is not nearly as much as Force Awakens. It's supposed to be more contained. So we see, like, the base, the Rebel base, which kind of looks like the Yavin one. But if you look outside, it looks like you can see tan, or, like, sand. So if you look outside, it looks like you can see sand. And so I think, and that's the other location where Felicity Jones is, like, you know, blown up stormtroopers and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I think it's all confined to that location.
Yeah.
And that's where the Imperials have some kind of outpost there.
Yeah.
And you see them, you know, that sort of like storming the beach scene.
Which makes sense of those sort of spy photos that we saw earlier of like the overheads of the beach scene. Yeah, and I guess that's gonna be like kind of like a main like battle area for the movie. There's also some scenes that look kind of like a market. I don't know where that tank's going through, but it seems like where Donnie Yen's character is, it seems kind of like a market area.
Yeah, I think that's the same planet as the beach planet.
Yeah, okay, that's right. It could just be a city on that
I mean,
planet.
like, you know, even like palm trees come from the Middle East, and that's like a lot of desert, but they still have beaches and tropical sort of stuff there.
Yeah, that's true. And then, of course, you know, one of the biggest sets is going to be the Death Star.
Yeah.
But that's like, I don't think they really filmed that on location anywhere. A lot of it's going to be like studio stuff. So, yeah.
So I guess that's it. Let us know what we missed, if there's anything you noticed, any theories you have about who these people are, who the characters are, what do you think their role's going to be. I really liked the tone. It had this really sort of dark, sort of dreadful tone, really intense. I like that it's kind of smaller scale. Technically, it's a prequel. Could be the first good prequel.
Yeah, and I do like that it's just a side story right now, and it really seems like it like leads into it, but it's not anything like, I don't know, major. Like, not gonna have any of the main characters come back for it.
And the other thing is, like, if they really knock this out of the park and this becomes as big as like something like The Force Awakens, where it just like is huge, this could become a series unto itself. Like, we could have Rogue 2.
Yeah, Rogue 3.
Yeah, because even Ewan McGregor was saying maybe there could be an Obi-Wan Kenobi trilogy. So I think they're testing the waters by making one film. Because, like, do you think there's going to be only one Han Solo film?
If it's good, no.
Yeah.
There's going to be more, for sure.
There's going to be more. So maybe we'll have Rogue 2 and 3, and it'll just be like a bunch of trilogies, and from there they'll expand out.
Yeah.
Looks like they can do it. It's really good. So, thanks for watching, guys. Be sure to like, subscribe, leave comments. We're always interested to hear your thoughts. And we'll see you next episode.